Engage life with your whole being. Sounds lovely, but in truth, life is not for the faint of heart. If you are to engage life with your whole being, you must access strength beyond what you know to possess in this moment. It will require that going forward. When you engage life fully, you will learn and grow and evolve. You will experience the fullness of life as it really is. Again, sounds lovely, and the process is quite beautiful to experience and bear witness to in others. But the journey of moving through life's challenges is one that will make you angry. You will feel pain and experience loss. You will feel pulled to react to life rather than maintaining humility. And you will feel fear. And here's the good part. If you have the skills to manage your anger, pain, and grief, facing it all head on with humility and courage, you will not miss the wonder, joy, and love that is also a part of the array of life as a whole. For when you hang on to the past, it blocks your ability to engage fully, and sadly, the hurt or loss being held will bring more of the same. Whereas the wonder, joy, and love is what is so often lost. So let's take a look at the skills needed to engage life with your whole being. They are the skills of the self that I'm going to speak of. Your health and well-being on all levels will influence your capacity for engaging life, but I find the stuck points with clients typically fall within the self as one faces life's challenges. First, let's look at anger management. The truth shall set you free, but first it's going to piss you off. I heard this statement many times while training in shamanism. It didn't take long to recognize the truth of it. As I awakened into new and more expansive perspectives, I did feel angry as my reality came into light. Anger is one emotion you feel when in a disempowered state. The balanced resolution to this is to become empowered. Simple, but not always easy. I didn't say this would be easy, but I guarantee it's worth the effort. Look at where you are giving your power away in a situation. There are some things in life that are out of your control to change, and empowerment comes with acceptance. This shift in perspective is necessary to free up the creative energy for finding innovative solutions that are within your control. Indulging anger at people, places, and things that you can't control only wastes precious life force and time to fully live. Next, let's talk about pain management. Life is painful sometimes. This can't be avoided if one lives with their whole being. Some experiences in life are just painful. Human beings often learn their life lessons and evolve through these types of experiences. It is often the pain that motivates people to change. It doesn't need to be this way, but it is where humanity is at. And when it comes to pain, the only way out is through. Surrender to the pain. Allow it to be felt, but don't attach to it. Expand beyond it and open to the lessons in the experience. And then the most important part, let it go. This seems to be the hardest for people. Humans attach to their wounding and will repeat experiences that reinforce the wounding until it is healed and released. Now, to approach the third area requiring regular maintenance in life, grief. I believe it is truly better to have loved and lost than to never have loved at all. It may sound cliche, but there is a fundamental truth in this statement. It is easier to recognize when you are not in the throes of grief. Love is the quintessential goal for every experience in life. But the more you open to love, the more you will have to grieve. We live in a world of constant change, and what is today will be gone tomorrow. If you do not let it go, it will take your time and energy and focus away from being present in this moment. The skill of grieving is more important now than ever, as the whole of humanity is in crisis and rapidly changing at a faster pace than at any other point in history. The loss is massive and can easily overwhelm anyone. It will pass, as all of your experiences do, but be on the lookout for grief as you experience the different stages of denial, anger, bargaining, sadness, and finally acceptance. Coming to accept that the world we have known is no more will free up the energy you need to build your new world. Hopefully, having learned the universal lessons to create a world of greater balance and equality. Now, I will move on to humility. To be humble is a centered state of being. This can be a confusing concept for people, as there are many associations with humility that represent being meek and disempowered. This is not humility. It is a state of humiliation, which is one in which you have given your power away. The key difference is that when you are humble, you stay in your power with a clear perspective of your strengths and challenges. You are present and centered, showing up to engage the full experience. To do this, you must feel the feelings associated with your experience. And feeling humiliated may be a part of that, but it is not a state and posturing you want to own and carry forward. Now, the flip side of humiliation is arrogance, which is equally damaging and uncentering. Where humiliation is a self-indulgence in the victimization of a painful experience, the flip side, arrogance, is a defense to block the pain of the experience. It represents an insecurity in your sense of self. It is a defense because you feel threatened in some way with your confidence in who you are. If you find yourself feeling arrogant, or having someone in your life reflect this back to you, then take a look at where you are feeling insecure. Then self-assess your strengths and challenges to get perspective. Accept the limitations of your humanity, reconciling yourself to a place of acceptance of self. This will promote a humble state of being. I can't tell you how many times I have been sitting across from a client approaching the fundamental art of centering oneself in a constantly changing world, only to hear questions like, how do I get centered? Or how do I know when I am centered? Humility is a good gauge. Ask yourself, do I feel humble? If you can honestly answer yes, then you have a good chance of being centered. If not, work through the blocks and reactions to find your humility. You will then be more centered and able to engage life fully. For the final skill of courage, it has never been more essential within humanity than at this point. Courage is not an absence of fear, but the willingness to proceed in spite of it. Fear can be like a plague, and giving into it in masses leaves only devastation. We are not lacking in fear in the world, but we must proceed in spite of it. We must adapt to our changing environment and find new solutions to problems and provision of needs that are no longer readily available in this new environment. When facing the unknown, it will naturally provoke fear. We're all facing the unknown right now. Regardless, we do need to proceed with life and evolution, and that will require courage. The type of questions you want to reflect upon to assess where you are with this. What am I afraid of? Why am I afraid? Is it reality-based? Am I allowing fear to hinder me from doing what I feel I'm meant to be doing in this world? If you're uncertain about this last area, given any particular situation, I suggest doing a risk-benefit analysis to flush it out. Fear is at the root of all prejudice. We are all human and more alike than different. We must hold each other gently at this time, accepting the differences in one another, never giving in to our fear, such that we lose touch with our humanity. Now to recap on the skills needed to engage life with your whole being. Managing your anger, pain, and grief frees up the energy for experiencing wonder, joy, and love. Staying humble keeps you centered, and having courage keeps you moving forward in the creative flow towards greater universal balance.